So what are you just checking people off?
I'm not coming out of the bathroom today, by the way.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that because, you know, I brought a towel
just in case. You brought some Purell.
Right, exactly. So are you just checking people off like Spielberg and, you know, just what, Terry Gilliam and now Martin, and you just like dream directors or something?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been really mindful of who was directing the movie, and I mean that film is unlike theater. Theater is, you know, the playwright is God, you know, and rightly so. But in film, I know, having been a writer on a film, the writer is a little lower down on the ladder,
right,
and the director is God. And really, I see this job as, you know, picking a director and then backing him all the way to the wall. You know, I mean, it's just even if you disagree, you back that vision and you fight for that vision, and you know you're an arrow in the quiver of that director to be used however he sees fit. And so that's why I place so much importance on the directors I choose, because I really, you know, and also I want to do it someday. I want to direct, and I really.
Doesn't everybody though? I mean.
Well, I didn't at first, you know. I didn't at first. I mean, it's the old cliche, I really want to direct,
right,
but I didn't at first. I wanted to act. I just wanted to work and have a career, and you know. But I love writing, and I'm starting to feel like, you know, there's a real.
Well, it must be great though, because you see so many different types. Each director has his own little thing, and they say that Martin is just so exact that you must, you know. How's it, you going to find your own style? I mean,
well, you have to find your own style. I mean, it's like, you know, you think of it like playing a guitar. Like, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan sounds different from Jimi Hendrix to Santana to, you know, I mean, you know who you're listening to. You can, you know, well, film's the same way. I mean, you give 10 directors, you know, the same film, you're going to have 10 completely different films. And so that's been a real interesting part, is watching these great directors, and Coppola and Spielberg and Scorsese and Soderbergh, and, you know, these guys, and Gus Van Sant, and, you know, and they all do it differently, right? It's a, you know, they're all great, and they all have made, you know, undeniably great films, and yet they all do it differently.
Let's talk about Colin, because you're no stranger to playing charming characters on screen, but this guy, not only behind that charm, is probably the most evil character you've ever played, I think.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. I mean, he, you know, ultimately, I can say that now kind of objectively looking at it. You know, he must have a real disdain for the police to be able to do what he does. You know, I did all this research and went with the state police and did everything, you know, from listening in on a wire to observing, you know, undercovers buying drugs.
Yeah, first of all, you seem like a smart guy. Why would you, it's sane, why would you go on a ride-along? Why would you do that?
It's totally safe. I mean, when they raided the crack house,
Okay, right there, that's the first mistake.
No, but I was way at the back of the line. I had a bulletproof vest on, and there were so many. They told me later there were twice as many cops as normally go, because they just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And I'd observed a drug raid in Austin with the Austin SWAT team in 1995 when I was doing Courage Under Fire, and they made me stay in the van. But I watched through, you know, they pulled up in front of the house and jumped out, and I stayed and I watched. But this was much more interesting because I got to go into the house with the guys. So they clear the house very quickly. They clear the house in 40 seconds. And so I got to be at the back door, hear everything, you know, the commotion. The guy actually tried to come out the side window, and our guy was around here, you know, with the flashlight, and, you know, get back in there because he was trying to throw everything out the window, but he didn't realize his house was completely surrounded. I mean, he was caught. And then, you know, I got to go, you know, right up and take my hat off and walk and do a walkthrough with these guys, and they showed me, you know, how it all works.
Well, did the fan of you come out though when you're freaking Jack Nicholson, man? I mean,
yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's also, you know, you don't want to be so busy, you know, being a fan that you don't do your work. I mean, the last thing you want is to get, you know, blown off the screen by the guy. So you know, Leo and I were very focused and very, you know, everyone came over prepared for that film, and you know, we knew we were in a Scorsese movie, and that Nicholson was this mob king, and you know, people were going to have expectations.
Absolutely your best work so far.